Hi, I'm Lori from CustomizedWalls.com and the interior design community, and I'm here as a special show. It's very exciting. We have an interview with Veronica Miller. Hi, Veronica.
Hello, everybody.
And you know she runs Blog Tour and Modenus.com, and she has something really, really special. I'm going to let Veronica, why don't you set up, introduce our guest, let us know a little bit about this show and what we're here for.
Absolutely. Well, it's very exciting for us to be in Germany. I'm actually here already. The wine cellar wall behind me may indicate that for you. And it's my home, so I'm very, very thrilled to be able to bring a blog tour to Germany. And we're here to bring blog tour for the first time ever to Ambiente in Germany, which will have our special guest, Erdmann Kilian, and I'm sorry I did not ask for the exact title, and I'm going to blank on that, so I'm going to let you fill that in just a second. Talk a little bit about the show. So we wanted to take a few minutes before we head into actual show coverage with our blog tour team starting Thursday afternoon and evening to talk a little bit about the show in general and introduce the rest of our audiences online to the show concept, to the size of it, and learn a little bit more about it from you.
Yeah, we're really actually very excited. I know there are some community members already talking about going and exhibiting at the show, and the blog tour folks, they're just thrilled to be on their way, so I'm excited to hear about it. Erdmann, tell us a little bit about the show in general. I know it's massive, but do you have the numbers? What does it look like?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I'm very glad to have the chance to speak about Ambiente here, and I'm so much looking forward to get you all to Germany in the end and show you the show. And I was thinking about how could I actually show you what the show is all about, and I brought the catalog. It's fresh from the print. It looks like that, and it's that thick.
Geez. Oh my God.
It's quite heavy. It's very thin kind of paper, but it's really, really heavy. So just to give you an idea about what's actually expecting you in Frankfurt, we give out the correct numbers tomorrow morning, but I can tell you already, we have more than 4,800 exhibitors coming.
Oh my gosh.
And they're coming from more than 90 countries, 90. So just to give my American friends an idea about that, for the Oscars, for the best foreign movie, just 83 countries try to get this Oscar. There are even more countries coming to Ambiente than countries that go to the Oscars. So we're really proud of that, definitely. And I think one thing which you really should understand when you come to Ambiente is that Ambiente is all about the international business. I know from the outside many people think it's a German show. Okay, let's go to Germany, let's see a German show. But it's not a German show, it's an international show. Here the Japanese people do business with South Africa. Here French do their business with Scandinavia. Here, U.S. companies can have access to the worldwide market, and this is probably the most fascinating thing about when you think about Ambiente.
Yeah, we actually noticed that a little bit in the community. One of the exhibitors that we talked to, they're a design firm out of Italy, and they wanted to meet up with us. So we definitely feel that already. We have a very large international community, and we're seeing it already. People talking about the show and planning on visiting. And it's hugely international. I mean, it's people from all over. So I thought that was really exciting. What areas of design does this show cover?
Well, basically, Ambiente consists out of 3 parts. And that is the dining section. So it's all about kitchen, household, and tabletop. And there's the best collection of everything in this field worldwide. So you don't get a better overview about the whole market than at Ambiente. There's no better show around for that.
Wow.
Then we have living, which is basically accessories, decorating stuff, smaller furniture, home decor. I would call that. This actually goes through 3 big halls altogether, plus the sourcing exhibitors from Asian countries. So you have there more than 1,200 exhibitors just alone in this field, and then you have additionally more than 1,400 exhibitors coming from the giving section. So this is all about personal accessories, everything which can be used as a gift, up to jewelry, watches, luxury perfumes for rooms, for example. There's a whole abundance of gifts and things you can give away as a present.
Wow, it sounds like it's super, super exciting. I can't wait to see the coverage because we actually follow blog tour, and it's hashtag blog tour Ambiente, because I'm sure I'll be following it like crazy, watching all of the designers and sharing all the pictures, because it's eye candy galore, right? And so next up, we want to know a little bit about the events. I mean, it's a design fair. What other events are going on?
Shall I jump in? Well,
yeah,
I brought you specimens because there's so much to do at Ambiente, so I brought you 3. There's first of all our own design prize, which might be interesting. It's a smaller one, but it's a design prize which doesn't cost you anything as an exhibitor, so I have to point that out really. And it's a very nice prize. We're doing it more than 30 years now. So this is something where you definitely should have a look to, and it's a very nice award presentation. Or we have our own talents program. This is all for new designers and newcomers in the field. We have more than 30 new designers, all featured in here, and you find them in 2 halls. We have one part of the talents program is happening in the dining section in 4.0, and one in 11.0 in the loft or in the living section. So make sure that you don't miss that, and of course you get all the little brochures in your welcome package when you come to the hotel. This is no problem at all. And the last but not least, and this is the biggest of all folders, it's our solution sections. It's all about interesting new solutions in the kitchen household sector. So you have here, for example, you have porcelain which doesn't slip anymore because there's a little silicone edge at the bottom, so it's actually proof, so it can actually kind of be not straight anymore on the table, and it won't slip from the table and everything. So it's absolutely perfectly done. So we've got very interesting exhibitions, awards, and all of these happening at Ambiente all the time. So there's a very full program awaiting you all the time.
Yes, it sounded, I mean, I've watched a little bit about just what Blog Tour is going to be going through, because Ronique Gibson, one of the bloggers, shared the itinerary planned, and it looks just incredibly exciting, and I want everyone to go check it out. She's at stagedetector.com, and she's got the itinerary laid out. It looks really, really fun, and that leads me into asking a little bit about Blog Tour. Veronica, you planned lots of different shows. You're bringing bloggers from all over the world to so many shows. Why was it important to go to the show?
Oh, it's crucial. I was very honored when Erdmann and his team contacted me to talk about reaching the U.S. There is still not just an ocean between the U.S. and other countries when it comes to design and to trade. There is also an understanding that can be supported by initiatives like Blog Tour, and like what Ambiente is doing this year in particular is the U.S. Partner Country Program that I'm sure we'll be asking Erdmann a little bit more about in just a minute as well. So it's important to further that understanding, to show people that, including in the U.S. or in North America, including Canada, there's a really big world out there in design, and we do go to London quite frequently, but having the opportunity to come to such a mega show as Ambiente with 4,800 exhibitors from around the world. So again, it's a hub. I see it as a portal to what is happening in design around the world. So for us, that's huge. I love to bring the bloggers, and who are also designers, to events to sort of give them more inspiration, new inspiration, to also open the door for them and say, your local sources are never the limit. You should always think beyond that and realize what is happening out there. So, you know, being able to do this in my own home country is especially exciting for me. On my turf, I finally had the language benefit. That was really not happening when we went to Italy. And so this is kind of, it's very fun, it's very exciting. And just sort of learning about the show a little bit more, about the layers of events that are there. There's another great event that Erdmann did not point out, but that I'm really excited about, and that is the speed dating event. And it's really kind of a speed dating for knowledge about the show, where the show is breaking down 3 one-hour segments on dining, giving, and living. I guess it's, yeah, maybe you can help me out with that a little bit, Erdmann. On specific areas of the show, to where you just sit and watch very, very brief presentations by people. I think that's kind of really key with a show that big, is to find hot spots to bring everybody together and to sort of bring those highlights together, because I just don't think it's possible to see everything. But yeah, we're thrilled. Ambiente is not a show necessarily that's terribly known in the US, certainly not in the blogger community, and we're very, very privileged to be able to help change that and, you know, really share with the world what's going on in Frankfurt this week.
Yeah, I think that I've noticed that too. I probably haven't heard of it before, but I'm hearing it everywhere now. It's one of those things that once you're a little aware, you're picking it up, and how many different people are actually participating, and it does. You're so right about it bringing you in. Now, tell us a little bit more about that learning portion that you have planned, Erdman, because I think that is really crucial for that show.
You mean speed dating?
Yes, speed dating.
Yes. Actually, it's an idea we developed together with exhibitors, because they always wanted to have the chance to reach out more to the international press and journalists in the blogger community. And so we came up with the idea to really have this kind of sessions where companies have a chance to, just in 3 minutes, present their latest product to the press, which is assembled in a room, and then they really can pitch it in a very, very brief but very concise way. And the press really loves this kind of offer, because they have in an hour you get 12 companies with 12 really good products, so you get really an overview about what happened in a segment of a market. So this year, for example, we chose the topic like baking is the new cooking, because we see that the baking topic kind of really moves up in awareness around the world, in magazines, for journalists, for bloggers as well. There in Germany, for example, there are lots of new food blogs coming out all about baking. It's not so much cooking anymore, it's baking really. It's really amazing. And they all come out with their cooking books and baking books, and there's a real baking community out there. And so we thought, okay, it must be mirrored by the exhibitors coming to Ambiente. And so we found really good companies who present their newest baking stuff, which is all very helpful, and it's really new stuff. Or we have a section this time about personal accessories, because personal accessories become more and more important. We travel so much, we are always kind of constant on the move, so we have all our little kind of lovely things we always wanted to have around us. Big bags are in anyway, not just for practical reasons. So we really wanted to cover that. Okay, the girls are nodding. Thank you very much for that. I carry big bags all the time around, because I have my personal stuff I want to have with me all the time. And to find the right personal stuff which you really want, it's something we can help as Ambiente, or help the retailers to find their stuff out of a global offering in this.
Wow, it sounds like, I mean, really, as someone who goes to the shows and has to write about it afterwards, that is a time saver. So thank you for thinking of that. I do want to ask, though, Veronica mentioned the U.S. Partner Country Program. Tell us a little bit about that program. What do you see happening for next year?
Well, let's talk about this year, because we have the Partner Country Program now in the 4th year. We had Denmark, for example, we had France, we had Japan last year, and then we decided, okay, we don't go back to Europe immediately, we jump over the big Pacific and go to the US, because we really felt that we need to bring design countries in which are not so well known on a show like Ambiente. And so we used the opportunity to bring the US in. And we found with Scott Henderson, a marvelous US designer, I think he's based in Brooklyn, who did a fantastic special presentation. I saw the first glimpse today already up in the foyer of 4.1, our hall, and it looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. We really have the kind of seashore feeling. You feel like you're being on the beach. It's absolutely amazing. He did a fantastic job there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that filled with all the American design products. But moreover, for us, it's a business reason and a strategic business reason as well, because we wanted to attract more American exhibitors coming over to Europe or coming over to Frankfurt, really to share their products to a world market. And we could increase the number here for a couple of companies, which is really good, and we could kind of get new American companies in, and hence, in the end, we can show more American products to a worldwide and global market, which is really interesting for us, and gives the American companies a special opportunity, because this time and this year, the whole focus is on American companies. And we have, on Monday, we have our USA Day. So many of these US companies will actually do special presentations. There's wine tasting. I think there's decorating of cakes and everything. So there's a whole leaflet Unfortunately, I don't have that with me right now, but there's a whole leaflet about what's going on Monday. So
Oh,
don't forget to join in and have the fun of experiencing American hospitality, I would say, on that day.
wonderful. And then in 2016, what do you expect?
This is special. We have, on the evening of our USA Day, we have the partner country reception, we call it that way. So we say thank you to the old partner country, so to say, and we say hello to the new incoming partner country, and I'm not allowed to say that now.
Oh, okay.
But this blog tour will know that firsthand on Monday night.
Ooh, exciting.
Very cool. So people have to tune in Monday night. I think we're there at about 7 o'clock, so 1 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone will know who the partner country is for next year, because I have a funny feeling that a lot of people that we've sort of been talking to that aren't on Blog Tour would like to consider coming next year, and it would be great for them to, know as much as they can before they decide to hop on a plane.
I think so, absolutely. And I think that it's, whenever you do these blog tours, Veronica, I know that so many of the bloggers and so many of the designer community in general just follow along and look at the pictures, and I think it's really growing that number of designers that do want to make that trip overseas to a new show, or even brands that want to make that trip because they get to see that market in a different way when you're visually looking at the photographs and you're seeing the experience and able to follow that along. I think it's been pretty fantastic. Erdman, any tips?
Go ahead, sorry.
Go for it. Answer.
No, you'd have to take that barrier down. I think for U.S. brands, we were just talking about that here in a meeting, and I think it's important for U.S. brands, U.S. designer makers, artisans, smaller artisans especially, to realize that there are marketplaces where they can be on exhibit in Europe and beyond Europe that make a lot of sense for them. And so sometimes by sort of sharing what it's really like, you can kind of reduce that threshold fear. And the same thing is true for your buyers, your retailers from the U.S., as well as your design community and your, all of those bloggers. We have so many of them to say, this is really something that we need to take more seriously, that we need to come to, because there's just a lot in it for us. They really, are making something happen that's crucial for new inspiration and new ideas. You have to be on top of that, and I think Ambiente is a show not to be missed for sure.
I think so too, and I can say when I went with you on Blog Tour London, it did definitely turn on those creative juices. I was definitely learning a lot and taking as much back home for inspiration, but I can also say that, from a design's perspective, and I talked to many interior designers who followed along or went on the show, we're able to buy online now. We're able to open those doors to parts of the world we never could before, and it allowed us to meet with makers. It allowed us to meet with artists that we probably never would have come across beforehand. And I have made even great relationships with some brands that I never would have met. I never would have come across before. And I think that that's fantastic, that you're opening this up to a whole world of design here in the United States and just bringing it over and showing them what there is to offer. And hopefully you'll see a huge surge next year because everybody follows Veronica. So
we would like that to be the case. I don't know if we've lost Erwin or not. Are you still here?
No, I'm not here. Yes. I'm just listening. But actually, to bring in my perspective, usually we say, this is our comparison, kind of going on Ambiente for 5 days. Say if you're traveling 5 months the world to find all the exhibitors and all the companies, you find within 5 days in Frankfurt. So come in and then find the exhibitors and the companies you actually need to work with.
Oh, that's such a great example. Actually, that's exactly the perfect example because.
That's. I have to tell you, Erdman, we were trying to think of what we could give our bloggers because they're traveling overseas. Nobody ever has any room in their luggage. So this time we're giving them little, and this is not a plug for the brand because I don't have a working relationship with them, but they're all getting jawbone bracelets so that they can track how many miles they've walked in the 4 days on the ground in Frankfurt. And the person with the most miles on their wrist is going to get a gift certificate from us for some fitness clothing, because we think they should. You know, it's a massive undertaking. So Blog Tour will be easily identifiable by their bracelets.
Okay, perfect. Just to give you 2 more comparisons, when you mentioned this with kind of you have to run around so much, it's more than 60 American football fields you actually have to walk if you want to see the whole show. And we measured it once. If you go every aisle just once in one direction, you run a marathon. So don't be surprised if you feel a bit fatigued at night. It will just happen because there's so much running and walking to do for the whole 5 days.
But so well worth it. You know, you jam that inspiration in. I always, when I tell people who've been on blog tours before, I always say, when you're going through it, it's so grueling, it's so tiring. But when you come back, it's like childbirth. You like forget about all the bad, painful feet, and you just remember the amazing design and the creativity that you were a part of. And it's an amazing experience for sure. I do want to know, Airman, any tips or things to do outside of the show? I mean, the show is so huge. I'm sure you're not going to have a ton of time outside of the show, but tell us what we can see.
Well, first of all, I would say Frankfurt is in a wine growing area, so if you have the chance and you go away, and I think for the blog tour, you planned something, didn't you, Veronica? So you probably have a very good white German wine.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even very good red wine growing over here nowadays, so enjoy this and enjoy local taste and flavor.
Pinot Noir, right? You have great Pinot Noir. My family used to own a wine shop, so I know German wine pretty well.
Perfect. Well, enjoy that then. Ask somebody to get you a couple of boxes over, or whatever, or bottles. So you deserve that definitely.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if you try to be more cultural, I would recommend the Opera Building actually, or the Opera House in Frankfurt. It's an iconic building from the 60s. It's very close to the fairground if you want to discover that. And it's actually one of the best European opera companies based there. You would believe that, but we have a very vibrant opera scene for the arty people among us. I would say, because I live in this hood, come to this main station area. This is my hood where I'm living, and this is the most fun place to be in Frankfurt at the moment, because it's the place where old meets new. There are new developments, agency moving in, all the designers move in this area, the new restaurants open here. There is still the red light district, so there's a bit of naughtiness in the air if you like that. But it's a good place to go out at night, and it's a good place to work at day, and I like my weekends there.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait. Veronica, you must be super excited.
I am very excited. And I am doing some wine tasting beforehand just to make sure that what we provide the bloggers is absolutely of the finest quality.
I think that's
so that's scheduled for this evening. It was also already scheduled for last night, and funnily enough, again for tomorrow night. So I think there's a pattern that we have here. But it's sort of the fuel that we run on when we do blog tours, so it's all good. It's all for the cause.
It's a pain reliever, you know. You got your feet are hurt from walking, and you just have a glass of wine. Okay.
Exactly. No, it's going to be all worth it, and I think the show has done a tremendous job at creating an itinerary for us that has some on and off moments. So there's some sitting and listening. There's lots of walking around, but there's a nice mix. One important note will be for and we will send the links out to this, but stay tuned in the community on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. All of Blog Tour will be live streaming onto the website of elo.de. What they do is a live stream of our cooking demo with Blog Tour lending a hand, and you know how our guys get when you put a camera in their face.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think we've asked them if anybody would like to be in front of the camera, and they all said yes, as is to be expected. So I think that's going to be very exciting, and that's at noon on Sunday. So if you guys in the Northeast are yet again snowed in, that will be your programming for the day.
Well, I will keep an eye out, and everyone can keep an eye out about your progress through that hashtag Blog Tour Ambiente. But is there any other tag that we should be watching, the show tag that we should be watching? Do you have a hashtag for the show?
Oh, gosh. Oh, dear. No, now you
Ambiente
called me out in the cold.
Yes, that social media thing again.
Yeah,
I
again.
know.
You do
Yes,
all the
it's
things you
Ambiente
forget.
15 is also, and the show itself is at Ambiente pretty
Okay.
much every. It's Ambiente Fair on Instagram, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's correct. We don't have Leanne on here today. She's actually on the plane right now, making her way over here to verify that. But I do believe you're Ambiente Fair on Instagram.
Wonderful. I know I will be following along. So let's have a little parting question. I know we're going to be wrapping up soon, but I want to know from both of you. I'll start with Veronica. What do you expect to be your biggest takeaway from the show?
Personally, always relationships, 100%. The products are important, no doubt about it. Lots of editorial coverage and editorial content is always important for us, of course. But I like to meet people. My business is all about networking people together. I like for our bloggers to establish working relationships. One of our bloggers, Carrie Kelly, has her buyer with her because she actually retails as well, so we want them to have business relationships, but also brand relationships are, for me, really, really key for designers and for bloggers to sort of level the playing field and leverage this whole new media concept that we're all part of. So for me personally, establishing relationships with the brands that we're meeting, with the show itself is crucial, and meeting lots of German bloggers. We want that breadth of reach. We want to learn from others to see what they're doing, what's working, what's not working. That's where our day-to-day level of information comes from, is from the community. So building on that is crucial for me.
I think so too. And Erdman, what about you? You must be super excited, but I want to know a little bit about what do you expect to be a takeaway from this, this process, and especially bringing over these bloggers.
I think Veronica is probably more surprised now than I, because we are very similar in our approach. Because networking for me is the biggest aspect when it comes to Ambiente. It's all about kind of matching people, matching brands and people. But at the end of the day, it's all about people, and it's a people business we're doing. So for me, it's always very important that I have the ability, or I have the chance to match people together which actually belong together. So for me, it's always kind of bringing bloggers and journalists together and bring the designers in. So we try, at the moment, we're trying to find slots so we can actually bring the designers to certain interview slots. So everybody on Blog Tour has a chance to speak to designers like Scott Henderson, our designer for the Partner Country show. Jason Miller, I mustn't forget him. He's the designer of one of our most grand and fantastic restaurants and cafes we will have. We have Sebastian Byrne from London, who does the Solutions exhibition. So we have plenty of amazing designers. Sebastian Hagner, the new upcoming star in Germany, he will be there with a pro bono project he's presenting from Zimbabwe even. So you have the international and you have the global flair again there. And on the other hand, it's always about satisfaction. I want to have satisfied exhibitors. They have met the right and satisfied retailers from throughout the world. And they should have talked to the journalists and made really clear what is their point and how's the market going on, how's the global consumer goods market developing, where's the trend, where are the trends going to. It's all about this kind of making connections and bringing people together, which is actually part of my job, and this is the fun part of the job.
I think
you
so
will see that on Friday night when I kind of bring you into our special AD night lounge. Then I really start making the connections between you and all the people there. That would be really fun.
Oh, I bet. 80s night. I didn't know about 80s night. Wow.
No, AD.
Oh,
Architectural Digest.
Like, what? Let me ask you, Veronica. I have one other question, because you brought up Erdman. You brought up trends, and so do you feel like this show is one that designers really need to watch as far as trends coming to the United States?
From my perspective, I would say definitely go there and see the trends, because you have a very clear vision afterwards what kind of trends come up, and where's a whole industry developing to, and we especially have a trend exhibition in the Galleria, in one of our major and central parts, where we always display 4 current trends, which you will then see in the products. And all these trends are displayed by using products by our exhibitors. There's not kind of, this might be a trend, but it's not there yet. This is a very current, very factual trend, which you see in probably 2,000 to 3,000 products we actually displaying there. And you can just grab a leaflet, you see the companies, you see the products, you can go there and you can order them on the spot, which is very, very helpful for retailers, because they can immediately do a purchasing decision and can say, okay, this is the trend and I want to have this trend in my shop. And then I can go and buy the stuff, which is, it's all about us. It's all about helping the retailers, help the market, help the exhibitors, and bring people together to do business.
I think that's fantastic. Now, a lot of the exhibitors, are they expecting, because you have a U.S. partnership this year, are they expecting partners in the U.S.? Are they looking for U.S. retailers?
I think that at Ambiente you can do both. You can actually look for new US retailers, because they will actually come to Frankfurt and looking for new subsidiaries, suppliers. But probably if you come to Frankfurt, you enter the world market. So they probably, I would not be surprised if Americans come up with business relations with Asia, with Japan, with South Africa, with France, with the UK. All the countries are there and very prominently there.
Yes. That's exciting. I mean, I know we follow trends quite close. We have Jeannie Chung as our trends moderator in the interior design community, and she studies trends constantly. We'll have to hear back from you, Veronica, because I do know that we'll want to know the trends for sure.
I think you're going to get it. We have 2 of your moderators with us anyway.
Yes.
And yeah, I think I really like the idea of, you know, shaking things up for people. That's where we started Blog Tour in the first place. I know that the bloggers we work with know so much about their own backyard, about their own design scene, and that was exactly the process in my head, was to say, man, I'd really like to take these people into a place that they're not familiar with, to sort of open those doors. So this is just the next natural step for us to take it another step further, and, you know, go from the shows that the U.S. market tends to know a little bit more to Ambiente, again, Ambiente as a portal to international design, and not just, as you said, not as a German show, but as an international portal. I think that's really, really key. And, you know, maybe it opens relationships with brands down the road that are even further afield in Asia that we can work with and, you know, develop things for the future.
I think that's fantastic. Well, I wish you both a fantastic show. I wish I could be there. It sounds like an amazing experience that you will remember forever. So make sure our viewers at home watch and follow this show really closely. You're going to want to see the pictures. You're going to want to know what's coming out from Ambiente, because it will dictate a lot of new trends that will happen here in the United States, and you'll want to expose yourself to design from around the world. I mean, that's a huge part of what we do here. We really want to make sure that we bring in the entire community of design and work together and learn from each other. So I love that you can do that right there in one festival. Thank you both for coming.
Great.
Thanks, Veronica.
Thank you very much for your super special hangout. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Well,
bye.
See you all later, and make sure that you all watch those tags, those hashtags, Blog Tour Ambiente. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.